mentioned that you grew up in South Dakota. Uh, Tell me a little bit about what the hunting is like there, and tell me the truth.
I don't tell a ton of people the truth because it is so good. I really love South Dakota. I consider it like where the east ends and the west begins, because you have all the opportunities there that you have in your neighboring states to the east, like Iowa and Minnesota. But then you also have all the stuff that's to your west, like Montana and Wyoming. And so you can be in the eastern part of the state and hunt some really big whitetails, and you have the pheasant capital of the world. And then you can go out west and you have antelope and mule deer and elk. And then if you like turkeys, that's like the place to go because you can get like three of your Grand Slam species there. We have Rios, Easterns, and Merriams. So you could just hit up that state, cross all three off in 1 week if you really wanted to. And lots of good public access too. When I talked about moving to Illinois, that was like the most frustrating part is living around these mega whitetails, but not really having a great way to go after them. So South Dakota is really good. And if you like fishing, even better. And I don't do a ton of waterfowling, but also a great place if you want to kill ducks and geese.
Sure.
Can we expand on South Dakota a little bit? I'm just kind of curious what changed in the last 2 years that made you guys hate non-residents so much.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm right there with you because now I'm a non-resident, so I feel the hate. It is disappointing because there is like a lot of non-resident disgust for people. I have some good friends from Minnesota that they come down, they go fishing or go pheasant hunting or something, and having that blue plate is like a sin for those guys. And I didn't recognize it necessarily when I was there, but now that I moved away, uh, you certainly kind of feel that. And then the regulation changes. South Dakota made this great move like 3 years ago, where they moved their archery deer opener from the end of September up to be September 1st, which is kind
Oh,
of
that
in
was
line
awesome.
with yep, and it's in line with like the rest of the Great Plains. That's what North Dakota is. That's what Nebraska is. So South Dakota like finally caught up to them, but then they took an enormous step back, like 1 or 2 years ago, when they shut down all public land deer hunting to non-residents for that first month of the season because the residents kind of shouted down that there just was too much competition out west.
They should hunt out east once.
They should. That's right. That's that's like a really funny thing about the South Dakotans that have issues with that. They think that there's like too much hunting pressure, or that like they don't even know what an Orange Army is. If they were to go to Wisconsin or Minnesota or any place like that, man, they would learn quick.
That topic is a really hot, gets me fired up because, us as hunters, we're trying to fight. There's this big push right now for fighting for public land and conservation, and it is the exact opposite thing we need right now in this sport.
Yeah, yep. It sucks too because a lot of South Dakotans will go to Wyoming and hunt because it's right next door, and it's like basically the shortest drive you can go to get like a really good over the counter elk hunt or like high country mule deer hunt. And the same people who like hate that you can't as a non-resident hunt what I think it's wilderness areas in Wyoming, also like reap the advantages of non-residents not being able to hunt an entire month of the archery season. So it's frustrating. I don't know that it'll be around forever, but as it is now, that's you either got to show up late and hunt lull and try to get in before pheasant hunters are there, or have private ground access.